Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch a chilly kind of fall day in the mid 50s. Going to be back down below freezing again tonight. So Biden authorized another $425 million to go to Ukraine. That's right. All of those folks that are waiting for their big fat checks there in North and South Carolina and Georgia and Florida and Tennessee and other places, you're just gonna have to wait, because we gotta send all our money over to Ukraine. Zelensky has proposed a new plan on how to win the war against Russia, and it includes being, of course, brought into NATO. And I think it's either let Ukraine lose or bring Ukraine into NATO, and it seems like it's coming down to that. So we'll see. Are they willing to just cut Ukraine loose and all the billions of dollars? And has the plan been fulfilled, whatever that is, so that they can cut them loose? Or are they willing to take this into a definite World War III by bringing Ukraine into NATO? Bigger news, though, that's finally getting out is a Defense Department directive. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Others probably don't, because it's, well, not being talked about much. If you do a little search online, it's Department of Defense Directive 5420.01. I believe I have that number correct. If I'm incorrect, someone will most certainly correct me in the comments. Among other things, this directive is originally, or at first, dealing with intelligence, military intelligence. I know, it's an oxymoron, but military intelligence. Anyways, but it also deals with, guess what? Deploying the United States military on U.S. soil to aid law enforcement when we, the people, get a little out of hand. Now, I know that there's going to be a lot of people that say, oh, that's unconstitutional because of the Posse Comitatus Act. Well, the Posse Comitatus Act is not actually part of the Constitution per se. It's a court ruling. It's a thing that was added. And even if it is technically law, there was once a United States president that is rumored to have said that the Constitution is just a GD piece of paper. And I've told you many times that that's exactly how they view it. They don't care about the Constitution. I don't even think that they see the Constitution as anything that holds them back. They don't care. They do what they want. If they did care, then 90% of the stuff that government has done over the last century, at least the last 4 or 5 decades, wouldn't happen. They don't care about the Constitution. And so there's this new military directive. If you read into it, it's really not, it doesn't say a whole lot. It's just a few paragraphs. But those few paragraphs actually say quite a bit. It talks about how if there was anything that would result in violence, loss of life, or could potentially lead to violence and loss of life, that the United States military would be authorized to deploy troops to aid local civilian law enforcement. Yes, and it even very specifically says that they would be authorized to use lethal force in their aiding of local law enforcement. Now, this is interesting. I talked the other day about a bill that they were trying to get passed in Congress this past year that would have outlawed militias. Yes, of course, it's also against the Constitution, but they don't care. They don't care about your Constitution. It's not their Constitution. They don't have to live by it. A lot of people even would make a good argument that the United States isn't even under the Constitution anymore because it's some kind of corporation. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that others do. But it's becoming very, very clear that the U.S. government either has some kind of plan up their sleeve, or they can feel the heat growing, and they're trying to stay ahead of the curve by enacting laws and policies that when push comes to shove, they'll have the right people in place to take care of them, right? Why would you think all of a sudden the Department of Defense needs to enact this directive that gives the U.S. military the authority, which it's illegal, yes, it's wrong, but still gives the United States military the authority to act as law enforcement and to use lethal force against United States citizens. Now, I don't think so. I doubt that this is because of all the illegals, and they want to have that authority to go after the illegals. I would guess that it has more to do with them coming after the people that don't want the illegals here. Coming after the people that are walking around carrying guns in North Carolina, distributing food and blankets and water and all that kind of stuff. They don't want that kind of stuff happening. They don't want to, be terrified that one guy is walking around in the woods in North Carolina packing heat, which is such a shock that anyone in North Carolina carries a gun, that they have to, take the entire airborne and FEMA and tuck tail and run. They don't want that. They want to have the authority. Even though it's illegal, dictators don't care about authorities, about legality. Authoritarian governments don't care about legality. They don't care. They don't care what the Constitution says. It's just some ancient relic that's under glass somewhere. That's all. They want to be able to tell you, though, and to tell all the gullible people out there, which is the vast majority of the country, that no, we have this authority. See this piece of paper that we signed and we gave ourselves this authority? Yes. And it's very necessary because there's bad and dangerous people out there. There's all these crazy conservatives and crazy veterans, and they're crazy. These Christian nationalists, and they're all extremists. And we need to have this authority. And when you see things like what's happened in North and South Carolina, and you have local sheriffs that are actually standing up for the people, they're actually honoring their constitutional oath. I'm not saying they all do, but there's been a lot. They're honoring and following their constitutional oath. Then, of course, the federal government says, see, even the law enforcement can't be trusted. Even the law enforcement are extreme. They're right along with it. They're all pro-Trump, conservative extremists. We can't even trust the local law enforcement. That's why we need federal people. And we don't have enough federal agents, and they're not really specialized in that. That's why we need the military. And they are setting up the chessboard, folks. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. But I don't believe so. This type of stuff has been done in various different ways, but still similar enough throughout all history. Whenever a regime is trying to take over its people, there's always some reason that they need to confiscate guns by force. There's always some reason that they need to take away your rights. There's always some reason that they need to control you and invade your privacy. And it's always some noble, justified reason for safety and security. Because there's always some evil extremist that's running around. And almost throughout all of history, those evil extremists are usually the people that are wanting smaller government. They're usually the people that are wanting to be left alone. And that, my friend, is exactly what we're dealing with. I'm telling you, you better get ready for this. Again, these people, they don't care about your rights. They don't care about some piece of paper. They don't care about your feelings. They just care about control. They want to control you. They want to control everything. And when they're setting up laws like this or policies that at some point in the future would greatly benefit them and not you, then it's pretty clear, I think, what the motive is. So yeah, check out this Defense Department directive. I know, I get it. It's unconstitutional. So is 90% of everything else the government does. That's It's never going to change. But you better be ready. You better be stocking up. You better be prepping. You better be building your team, your community, your circle. Because at some point, all of their plans are going to start really coming together. And it's going to be a bad day. It's time to get your houses in order, to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.